All right, welcome back. So right now we're going to go ahead and take a peek at Alan Davis, one of my favorites, in my opinion, possibly the GOAT. He did a couple books here, The Nail and Another Nail. I'm going to do two videos for these guys. We'll start with The Nail, obviously the first one. Let's flip this around, take a peek at these. Right. This right here is the deluxe edition of The Nail. This contains The Nail and Another Nail and some other bonus stuff. We're going to take a peek at this at the end of my Another Nail video, okay? There is some stuff in the back in that. We'll take a peek at this. I'm going to use these for these two videos though, all right? These were both three issue runs, 3 issue books. And I think they were actually perfect bound too. It's been a while. But anyways, collected edition of the Nail series, collected edition trade paperback as well of Another Nail. This one has a little more content. It feels a little thicker to me. So Another Nail, we're going to save that for the next video. I'll go ahead and post both of these up at the same time. Why not? That way you guys could do a Twin Peaks viewing if you want. You could watch Another Nail first, and then come back and watch The Nail. We're not going to discuss story too much, art for inspiration, obviously. But anyways, yeah, side note, DC never really got my money as a youngster that much. Very Boy Scout-esque classic characters. They never really pulled me. I like the Outliers. I like the Punisher. I like, even though Batman is part of Justice League, he's got a bunch of faults, right? When characters feel too perfect, it just, I don't know, there wasn't a lot of allure with that. But anyways, Alan knows how to craft a very, very good superhero story. Obviously, his work on Excalibur, well, to me, it's his best work, personally, to me. But he has done a lot of really great books since then. I have another video, I believe. It's the Detective Comics collection by Alan. It's another great hardcover book. Collects Detective Comics that he worked on. Pretty much Alan doing stories of a lot of the Batman rogue villains in each issue. Similar to what Jim Lee did with the Hush 1 book, where you got a different villain, I believe, in each book. Also, let me know about the audio. I adjusted the channels. I did not do a test on it. Someone was telling me that they could only hear out of the right channel headphone for some reason, which is very odd. So I shifted it a bit to the left side, so hopefully it evens it out. I did not notice the issue myself, but might just be because I listen to everything locally. So yeah, no story spoilers. We're just here to enjoy this art. Check it out. But yeah, Alan, great compositionally. These panels, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels here. Perfectly balanced. Very, very good at probably the best in comics at identifying visually character traits, emotions. Super laxed poses here. This just feels is channeling some level of realism that we don't really get. Batman back here in the corner. Super knowledgeable about even like their own personal the way that the character maybe sees himself and puts himself out front, or vice versa. Like Batman here preferring the back, not being part of the table, right? Reclusive, confident, things like that. He's able to express that through line, and that's a really powerful tool as an artist. Not the easiest thing to do, believe it or not. A lot of us, myself included, will probably do something like this. They'll have the same pose. They're just next to one another. You're like, oh, mission accomplished. I just illustrated the whole team together. But yeah, when you can start give some variance here, uh, different ways that the characters stand, the stature, a little bit with their pose. Like he's super lax. He's a little more teenager looking. Uh, yeah, and the colors in these, I'm super indifferent with them. They're okay. They're real bright, so they let your eye really enjoy the inks here. I think it was Farmer. Yeah, Mark Farmer is the inker of these. Mark Farmer, anytime he inks Alan, always superb, super fun to look at. Let me start flipping through these pages. There's a lot of story in here. None of it felt rushed. It is pretty condensed because you got to knock out the story in so many pages. But Alan knows exactly how to pace the story so that it's readable and it conveys everything it needs to for character progression and all that. So, and I think if I remember right, I might be wrong about this. I feel like this era of DC characters was around the same time as oh geez, maybe when Kubert was on like Superman with Richard Donner, somewhere around there. It might have been earlier. It could have been around the time of like uh, Howard Porter, John Dell, uh, Justice League run. Might have been closer to that. I'm looking at the color styling here, and it's very DC kind of had a house style, uh, super recognizable, especially in the Superman books. There was a run of books. Who drew them? I think it was Jeff Johns wrote them. It was like Ed McGuinness and Duncan Rouleau, and I love this piece here. This was a cover, I think. See, man, Alan Davis's Batman is unmatched. You have a lot of really great artists who've drawn him through the years, but to me, Alan Davis's Batman is just perfect. He also has a really good. He draws a really good Green Lantern too. You got the whole Green Lantern Corp here. Yeah, stuff's cool. Let's see here. This is a big book. Yeah, before deciding to record this, I was pretty much third party is where you're going to get this. You're going to get this off of eBay. I don't recommend Amazon unless you're purchasing that specific deluxe edition, which they tend to put on sale quite a bit. When I got mine, I think it was like 13 bucks free postage. Like, you know, I tend to come across it quite a bit, and it tends to be on sale quite a bit for that large deluxe collected. Um, these trades here, the nail and another nail trade, I feel like you're either going to find them for like $6 or for 30 bucks. It's never something uh, meeting in the middle. So I would highly recommend if you are going to grab this book or this collection of books, I highly recommend getting the deluxe edition. And like I said, you get we'll take a peek, like I said, on the another nail video that I do. We'll take a peek at the bonus stuff at the end of that. And I will also go through those pages faster than I'm going through these. I kind of want to do a kind of want to do an Aquaman story. I think I would go a little more, go a little more pirate. Bring back the spear hand or fish hook hand or whatever they had going on. Great outer space scenes. Anytime I see this, I can't help but think about Alan's Excalibur stuff with um, Rachel's Phoenix. And the inks in this thing are just, they're just insane. They are insanity. They're just so clean. Um, when Alan came out to Phoenix, he came out with Mark Farmer, the inker, and I was just sitting there in awe, like, cause I'm just a huge fanboy, and I was able to sit there and kind of banter with him a bit, and took a photo with Alan and stuff, and then I was just Mark. Mark was like, "Hey, how's it going?" But he was like so busy. He had a stack of commissions there. Alan busts out these pencils 5 times as fast as Mark can ink. So uh, yeah, Farmer was just sitting there inking the whole weekend, just inking a stack of commission pieces. It's interesting to watch him work. He inks the way it feels when you hit an outline just perfect, but every line he does feels like that. It's kind of strange. I'm just so used to kind of a hack and slash method of doing my own work. I'm very fidgety and all noodle stuff and give it knots and things like that while I work. And he doesn't do that. He does like 1 or 2 swipes and then he hits the next thing and then hits the next thing, and it's just super fluid, super fluid. Kind of mesmerizing to watch. It's always interesting to watch other people work. Yeah, he really captures the spirit of all these characters through this book. No small feat as an author of his own. I know he got to write his own stuff, so he kind of is like, he's not going to give himself something too hard to draw, right? Like when you're writing your own work, you're not going to sabotage your own line art, but he does a lot of stuff in here that's pretty challenging. A lot of the story conveying between characters and containing stories of these characters, and then also making it look cool. Missed a page there. Yeah, so I hope there's not too much glare there. I turned off the main light in this office because it was just, these are glossy pages, so they are super shiny. Yeah, this face shot here, trademark copyright, Alan Davis. He draws that face so much. Man, I would really love to see Alan do another stint on a Batman book before he retires. Yeah, spoiler. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen is the big bad. All right, there you go. Now you don't have to read it. Now you can just buy it for the art. And almost at the end of this. So when we're done, I really like this. I think Jim Lee ganked this shot right here. I feel like that he drew that in the Justice League book. Can't blame them. I would take it too. All right. That's a pretty fun shot right there. Nice lighting. I can't really see it. Yeah, the inking in here is sick. He did really, really cool. Just this micro hatching, almost stippling, but it's not. Um, really cool effect there. I like that. Did a bit of it here too, actually. I'm just noticing this. A little bit here. Maybe some white dry brush. I'm not sure, but there is definitely some hatching going on and some of the crisscross stuff we do with the fine white inks. And like most stories, Superman cries at the end. He evaporated his body. I don't know if I cry about that. Is that a Neil Adams piece right there? Okay, so this is the little end cap here of this here. So yes, all right, cover gallery. Here we go. So the nail number 1 right here, and again these are perfect bound books. I believe they're perfect bound soft covers. The nail number 2 and the nail number 3. These are the 3 books collected in this. This is Justice League America, the Nail trade paperback. Okay, so this is the cover to this one. You might be able to find a lot of all 3 together on eBay. I don't know, maybe your comic shop has it even. I feel like it probably sold pretty well. I don't see these in the wild very often, the loose ones. Mostly I find the trades or the deluxe edition, but the deluxe edition is probably the better way to go financially if you are going to buy it. It's the cheaper route to collect all 6 books, right? So the nail and another nail. All right, that's going to be it for that, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, tell me all the things and comments. All right, I'm going to end this. I'm going to start recording the next one, and I'll see you there. Peace out.